Hi, young people. That's a pretty good one. So this is just coming out. It was just posted, but it happened, I think, 7 months ago. Now, I think the chief hid this. He says he didn't hide it. He just didn't release it. You can make your own decision. This is called government accountability. This is your suspect running. He runs down this hill, and there happens to be a kid dressed in a gray hoodie with this down there. Cops come over the hill and start shooting at the teen that was over the hill fishing, and suspect gets away. They end up catching him later and shooting and killing him. But to me, this shows a huge lack of accountability for cops. They shoot too fast and too easy, and there's no accountability. Let's take a look at this.
Last October 19th, a couple of teens on a fishing trip here.
October 19th.
Get wind of a high-speed police chase on US 15. Shots fired. They come up through these bushes.
Okay, so we have teens making bad decisions, which teens do. That they just don't think of consequences. If you hear of a shooting in a police pursuit, normally you want to stay away from that area if you're reasonable because you don't want to get shot and killed. But when you're a teenager, you don't think of consequences. You don't look around corners to see dangers. So it's just kind of cool to go check it out and watch. And maybe they were looking, we'll get some good video. But it almost got them killed.
To see what is going on. Just then, dashcam video shows one of the two suspects pushes past.
So evidently, these are the two teens that are like, hey, cool, look, they're shooting and they're chasing this guy. And the guy runs right to them.
Past the teens and runs down into the same bushes trying to escape. A Frederick deputy.
Do I need to say anything else? Really? Come on, people.
Races up, sees splashes as though from gunshots in the dirt, takes aim, opens fire, not at the suspect, but at the teen.
Comes around a corner, sees a guy in a gray sweatshirt, and starts firing at him. Said he had a black phone in his hand. How many phones are black? How many screens are black when your phone's off? Cops can just shoot at people because they have phones in their hands, and they might be wearing the same clothes, and they might be in the area. Because cops are out of control and they spray and pray and shoot at anything. I know there's going to be some cops here. Rick, even the DA said it was objectively reasonable. I don't want to hear all this objectively reasonable bullshit. Cops need to ensure their target. They need to ensure their background. They need to stop freaking shooting at everything that moves just because they're unaccountable. This is about holding government accountable. I'm not sitting here saying the cops are bad and they're good and they should have and would have and could have and all this other bullshit. I'm telling you, government needs to be held responsible, especially with deadly force. Where mistakes get innocent people killed, they need to be held accountable. And I don't know why you freaking cops out there are defending this shit that, oh man, it's a mistake and it's a tough job and we're all heroes and we were scared. And these guys weren't scared. The guy was running away. They were shooting at him as he was running away. They're shooting him with his back to him. They're spraying and praying because they can and they're not accountable.
A Pennsylvania state trooper also pulls up and opens fire thinking the teen was the suspect.
So he sees one cop shooting at him and goes, shit, I'll shoot at him too. It's open season. We can shoot at anybody. We don't have to identify our own target. We don't have to identify a weapon. We don't have to feel our life is in danger. We can just shoot, and guess what? We still get paid. We still get our retirement. We still get to go home, and we're never held accountable. This is a growing, huge problem, and I just don't understand why people can't get on board and see it for what it really is.
Suspect, according to prosecutors. The 15-year-old was wearing a gray hoodie and blue jeans, was about the same build as the fleeing felon.
So suspect had a gray hoodie with black pants. Were these cops malicious and trying to kill this teen? No. Were they irresponsible and not using what I call good judgment and due diligence? Did they for sure identify their target? Did they ensure that they were shooting at the right person? Of course not. They're shooting at an unarmed teen that happened to be there. They were freaking wrong, and there will be people saying, I'm too hard on the cops.
And was carrying what turned out to be a black cell phone.
Not to mention, Both these freaking idiots weren't only shooting at the bad guy, sprayed and prayed and shot multiple rounds at this guy, they freaking missed him with all their rounds. Now, I just did a video where they shot the dude in a police helicopter, and everybody was like, man, those guys that were shooting at the police helicopter, you're saying they shouldn't have shot because they weren't in danger. Those rounds had to go somewhere. They had to come down when he was shooting, so he was endangering somebody. Well, that's just stupid logic to me. So anytime anybody shoots a gun, cops can shoot them because their bullet could ricochet, could bounce off and hit somebody else. Therefore, anybody that shoots a gun is a danger, so cops and government should be able to execute him and kill him. Well, this is a case here where the cops shot multiple rounds at a dude that wasn't armed, wasn't the suspect, was just somebody in the woods, and they're not held accountable. And government should be held to a higher standard than the pesky untrained citizen, not to a lower standard. Come on, people.
The suspect, wanted for attempted murder, was wearing a gray hoodie and black pants. Objectively unreasonable use of force.
That's correct. That's what the standard is, objectively unreasonable in their mistake of fact. And we just couldn't prove that.
The state's...
So, since you can't prove it, you don't charge them. And that's what DAs normally do. If we don't think we can prove it enough beyond a reasonable doubt to get either an indictment or a conviction when we put it in front of a jury, we're not going to charge. The problem is cops are not held accountable. And legislators aren't making laws that hold cops accountable. They're not saying, look, you're going to be personally liable when you make a bad shooting. If you shoot, you damn well better make sure that you had to, and it was a good shoot. Well, Rick, if you do that, then the cops won't shoot it. Well, you know what? Then that's better. I would rather innocent people not get killed and let bad people get away. You idiots out there say, well, man, we got to protect the cops, and they got to be able to shoot everybody and spray and pray on the chance a bad guy gets away. So therefore, it's worth the risk of killing a bunch of innocent people just so cops don't have to be held accountable and they can spray and pray. It's just freaking ridiculous. And I'm telling you, this shit did not happen when I was working as a cop. We were held accountable, and our agency held us accountable. They would fire us. They would make policy that held us accountable, and you did not want to go out there and spray and pray. There was an incentive not to spray and pray. Now, there is no incentive. So why should they stop? You pesky citizens don't freaking get it.
The attorney has just decided against charging either the trooper or the deputy. You're not saying that what they did was okay.
No, I'm not saying what they did was okay.
That's the problem. Everyone knows what they did is not okay. Guess what? Cops are laughing all the way home when they pick up their check. Because they don't care if it's okay, and they don't care what you think, and they don't care what anybody else thinks. Because you know what? They aren't held accountable. They are given a huge responsibility and a gun and the ability to take someone's life permanently. When you pull that trigger, you cannot call that bullet back. And that's what everybody is taught for gun safety. And cops ignore all the rules of safety. They spray and pray all the freaking time. And this freaking chief hid this video for 9 months because he knew his cops were wrong, and he's part of the freaking problem.
Okay.
The deputy is off the street while the sheriff's office investigates.
He believed that the person that he fired at was one of the bad guys.
He believed. Therefore, as long as he believed it, he can kill 100 innocent pesky citizens because he believed. Wow.
But why are we only learning about this shooting now, 7 months later?
Did we come out and openly put it out? No. Did we intentionally withhold any information? No.
Yes, you did intentionally hold it, you freaking idiot. This guy's a freaking idiot. He's the police chief. Did we come out and let you know? No. That's withholding. Somebody, where they hired as chief? Ray Charles knows this is withholding. He doesn't even have to freaking be on scene. Are you kidding me?
And openly put it out? No. Did we intentionally withhold any information? No.
The sheriff says his office was focused on the other suspect who was shot and killed not far from here by deputies who said he turned and took a shooting stand.
So let me get this straight. We're supposed to believe the deputies when they say they shot him because he turned and took a shooting stance, yet when the guy was running away and a teen didn't have a gun and was running away, trying to get out of the way of the crazy cops shooting everything that moves, they shot at him multiple times. They didn't say the teen turned and pointed a gun to justify their shooting. They just ignored that shooting, and now they want to justify the suspect turned and pointed a gun. See how good we are? See how great government is? Government, they had to protect themselves, Rick. Officer safety. Cops are heroes. They always do good. We must always support them or we're bad. It's just freaking bullshit.
It is just a miracle that none of the shots here hit that teen.
That is a miracle. Actually, the odds of getting hit by cops firing at you really isn't a miracle because it happens all the time. They just spray and pray. They don't care. They don't worry about aiming. They don't worry about missing. They don't worry about where their bullets go. They don't worry about how many rounds they fire. They spray and pray, and you know what? They know the media and the government and the chief of police and everyone else will say, well, it was objectively reasonable and we don't have enough to charge and the officers believed. And so why the hell should they change their policy of spray and pray and screw everyone in the area? We don't give a shit. We're shooting because we can. It's just freaking ridiculous. Oh, I wanted to get the article real quick on this before I end it. So while giving chase, Ensberg attempted murder, Fredericks County Sheriff's Department, Pennsylvania trooper mistook a 15-year-old bystander for the suspect, shot in his direction 8 times. They didn't shoot in his direction. They were trying to kill him 8 times. State's attorney investigated the shooting, found it was the unidentified use of force against the teen. Investigated the October shooting and found the unidentified officers, they're not giving their names, use of deadly force against the teen who was not struck by the officer's rounds was not objectively unreasonable. The report released Wednesday. Wow. As a result, the officer will not pursue criminal charges, or the office will. Police from multi-jurisdiction in Maryland, Pennsylvania pursued. 43 was wanted for an attempted murder. Fled the vehicle. Was shot dead by the county. Was extradited to Pennsylvania. On Wednesday, a new report provided details of a second incident of shots fired. The discharges were directed at a 15-year-old. All right, you guys can pause it and read all this. I thought somewhere they said they thought the splashes in the water was gunshots. Is it saying the teen pushed the 13-year-old out of the way, causing a 15-year-old to stumble at the bottom? A deputy saw Lehman flee in that direction. A few seconds later, saw a minor emerge from the foliage holding a black cell phone. Apparently mistook. Yeah, he apparently mistook and fired multiple rounds at an unarmed 15-year-old because he didn't even know who he was chasing. He can't tell the difference between a 15-year-old and a freaking 38-year-old that he was chasing. Yeah, okay. One of the rounds lodged in the tree. Investigating. Deputy told investigator he was firing at Leatherman and did so because he saw splashes in the dirt that made the deputy believe he was being shot at. So now, if I just see imaginary splashes, I can shoot at anybody because I think I'm getting shot at. I mean, he's just freaking crazy. All right, if you want to go to this video, it's on the FrederickNewsPost.com. All right. Well, in that there, you guys can argue it out in the comments.